I want to touch on sexism in the workplace. You have said in past interviews that talking about sexism in the workplace is not, quote, a defining characteristic of the workplace today. You went on to say it's a conversation that is, quote, a waste of time. What were you saying?
You know, for me, it's really, I love the lean in message. I love Cheryl's lean in message, which is about being personally empowered to make decisions and to have ambition and to lean into the opportunities. You know, yes, I'm sure sexism exists in the world. I'm sure that there are organizations where, you know, it's part of the experience of being there. It doesn't feel empowering to me to focus on that for myself personally. Institutions take a long time to change. I love the empowering message of being able to do something about it myself and being surrounded by people who can do something about it.
So is the thinking there, it is a waste of time to think about the problem?
It's not, I mean, you know.
For you personally, because you went on to say...
Of course I think about it at Facebook,
right.
But I think, you know, for me to spend time on it in the world, I think the way for me to do that is through the way I lead my own life and by the way we lead Facebook and by providing a hopefully positive role model for organizations in the world.
There have been a lot of headlines out of Silicon Valley as a whole over the last year about women, not enough female representation on boards,
yes.
Sexism in the workplace. I know, you know, firsthand from some of these women running incredible startups have had a really hard time getting funding on their own. Are you seeing progress in the Valley on that?
I think the Valley has a long way to go on all issues related to diversity, and you know, largely that's just in representation. Making Facebook more diverse is crucial in our journey to achieve our mission. You know, we really need to represent internally the 1.5 billion people around the world who use Facebook. And we're working really hard to do that in every possible way. You know, some of it is, you know, if you think about just sort of the people who are in the Valley now, companies are just stealing share from each other. It doesn't actually grow the pie. Yeah. Part of what we need to do together is grow the pie. You know, we need the pool to increase.
So what's the major impediment to that? Is it the fact that kids aren't learning to code in school?
I think it's starting to happen. You know, I think if you look at some of the statistics, I mean, the overall statistics for women in CS in college hasn't changed dramatically, but I'm hopeful that we'll start seeing a change in that regard in the next 3 or 4 years as this generation graduates from college.
Look, Facebook is not in charge of writing education policy in this country. However, you're an incredibly influential company. If you could see one thing change in education, elementary education, high school, you know, into college. I mean, I know when I have kids, I want them to have to learn how to code. Is that something we should see that would help in these jobs?
One thing that we have started to see is some schools starting to introduce basic coding in the same way that they introduce math and science into the curriculum. I think if we had a lot more of that, we'd be in a much better place. I just think helping students see what the opportunity is in the technical world or for technical jobs is an important part so that they can picture themselves being part of the industry. You know, kids know what it means to be a doctor. They don't know what it means to be an engineer. You know, it's harder to sort of understand that unless it's being explained. And so I think it's, you know, the onus is on us to paint that picture and to help people understand what the opportunities are so that they can choose that path.
So for people watching this who are perhaps just graduating from high school, they are in college choosing their major, and they have this dream of working at Facebook or one of your competitors one day, what do you say to them? Because you're in charge of people at Facebook.
Yes, I would say take a very close look at the computer science department in your school and seriously consider that path.
Don't be scared of maybe getting a bad grade here and there.
Oh my gosh, I mean, you know, I think it's all about learning. It's about building, and particularly for the women out there, jump in. You know, it's a fantastic opportunity. It's a growing industry. It's a place where there are so many jobs and opportunities, and there's a basic supply and demand mismatch right now. So, you know, it is really the place where there's going to be a lot of growth and opportunity now and in the years ahead.
Finally, the breakdown of men to women at Facebook in engineering, because I know that's something you want to grow. Where are we at right now?
We're working on it. It is definitely not where we want it to be. You know, I would love to see a world where we get to 50%, which is, you know, actually not even the representation in colleges. You know, I think if we got to a place where, you know, the percentage of women in colleges mirrored the percentage of women pursuing CS, we'd be in a really good place. And I think everyone at Facebook is focused on helping to make sure that happens. You know, I think the number in colleges right now is 17 or 18% women. So, and that's down from 35% in 1985. So not only is it 18%,
Down.
it's headed in the wrong direction.
Why is it down?
So,
Do we know?
you know, it's just part of the way society's evolved, and I think it's time for us to turn that back around.
Especially when there are now more female college grads
Exactly.
than men.
Exactly. You know, if there were as many women pursuing computer science in college as there are women in college, percentage-wise, we'd be in a very different place.
Yeah.